arrived alone, heels clicking against marble, satin dress resisting the spring wind. Melody's wedding was everything she dreamed. Chandeliers, champagne towers, and an entrance flanked by roses the color of old money. And there I stood, 34, unaccompanied and apparently too successful to be likable. "Oh, Evelyn," my mother said with a tight smile, eyes already searching the space behind me. "No satellite again?" "I didn't realize I needed one to validate my existence," I replied, brushing past her perfume cloud. My name card sat at table 14, far from the head. I froze when I saw it. Eveline, spelled wrong. No other seats were filled. My chair waited like a punishment. Awkward seating, someone whispered nearby. "She's always been distant." Their voices didn't sting so much as confirm what I already knew. To them, I was an anomaly. An overachieving mistake that refused to marry mediocrity. Melody made her entrance to roaring applause. She shimmered like a magazine cover, Grant beside her like a trophy groom. She caught sight of me and waved, brief, like acknowledging the help. When the toasts began, my father skipped over me entirely. To Melody, the heart of this family. And Grant, who brings us pride. No mention of the daughter who funded their mortgage in silence. I sipped my wine and smiled at the empty chair beside me. It understood. And then, just before dessert, a man across the room stood and turned my way. Tall, composed, familiar. He began walking toward me, his expression unreadable. It was Jasper Bishop. And the entire ballroom fell into a hush. Jasper hadn't just walked toward me. He stopped at me, nodded once, and pulled out the empty chair beside mine. "I'm Jasper Bishop," he said, his voice smooth as obsidian. "I've been meaning to meet the mind behind EV Core." My fork paused mid-air. "You know my work." He gave a quiet laugh. "Know it? Your I framework accelerated half our systems at Bishop Dynamics. We owe you months in R&D. My pulse flickered. For a moment, I forgot the buzz of champagne-fueled whispers behind us. "I didn't think anyone here noticed." "Oh, they noticed," he said, eyes narrowing toward the head table. "They just didn't understand." Across the ballroom, Melody stiffened. She'd noticed Jasper sitting with me, not her. As the next course was served, I drifted inward. Childhood echoed in the clink of crystal. Melody's bedroom always unlocked, mine hidden behind equations and earplugs. She won pageants. I won scholarships. She was adored. I was tolerated. "Melody always got the spotlight," I murmured. "And you built the stage it's shining from," Jasper replied. Just then, my mother passed behind us, her voice sharp with wine. "He's just being polite, Evelyn. Don't overthink it." Jasper turned. "On the contrary," he said calmly, "I'm exactly where I want to be." My mother paled. The crack in their glass illusion had begun, and I was no longer shrinking to fit inside it. It happened just after the toasts. The room had fallen quiet, glasses raised in Melody's direction, each speech more saccharine than the last. I sipped my water, already imagining my escape, until Jasper stood. No microphone, no warning. "I'd like to toast someone else," he said, voice cutting through the soft clinks and whispers. "Someone whose genius changed the direction of our company, and my life." Heads turned. Melody's smile froze. "I'm talking," he continued, his eyes locked on mine, "about Evelyn Hart, creator of the EV Core. The future of AI. Then slowly, deliberately, he bowed. Not a nod. A deep, formal bow of respect. A hush fell. Someone gasped. My aunt dropped her fork. Melody rose abruptly, her tone brittle. "Jasper, I think you've mistaken the occasion." "No," he said coolly, still facing me. "I haven't." I stood stunned. "You didn't have to do that." "I did," he replied louder now, "because brilliance deserves more than silence." Heat rushed to my face, not shame, but something hotter. Liberation. Melody's eyes burned into me. The groom, her husband, looked caught between awe and panic. And for the first time in years, I wasn't the one shrinking in the room. "Why would he do that?" Melody hissed, cornering me by the hydrangeas just outside the ballroom. Her flawless smile was gone, replaced by a tight, trembling line. I met her glare evenly, maybe because I earned it. She laughed, sharp, humorless. Oh please. You think one algorithm makes you important. This was my wedding, Evelyn, not your tech convention. I didn't flinch. I didn't ask for the spotlight, Mel. I just stopped apologizing for existing in it. Her fists clenched around her bouquet. You always did crave attention, just like Dad said. The words hit harder than I expected, but not hard enough to crack me. Not anymore. And you always needed the world to orbit around your reflection, I replied quietly. Jasper's bow shattered that illusion, didn't it? She stormed off before I could see her response, but I caught the quiver in her step. The queen had stumbled. Back inside, whispers followed me like perfume. Curious, cautious, reverent. Jasper approached again, glass in hand. That crown of hers was always brittle. I blinked at him. You noticed? He smiled. You've been underestimated for so long, Evelyn. Now they're starting to see. For the first time, I allowed myself a small, dangerous thought. What if they finally had no choice but to? I left Melody's wedding just after midnight, the sounds of clinking glasses and shallow laughter fading behind me. No one tried to stop me, not even Mother. Outside, Jasper was waiting by the valley circle, hands tucked into his coat pockets, eyes steady. Ready? He asked. For what? I replied. He smiled faintly. For a life that doesn't apologize for brilliance. 6 months later, I stood beneath an arch of moonlit white orchids. Not a single forced smile in sight. Our guest list was short. No obligatory cousins or tight-lipped aunts. Just people who'd seen me, really seen me. As I walked toward Jasper, I caught my mother in the second row, dabbing her eyes. Melody wasn't invited, but I'd heard through someone that she watched the live stream alone in her penthouse. Do you, Evelyn Hale? Jasper said, voice low and certain, choose this life, this partnership, this love. I smiled, remembering years of silence, of being less than in my own home. I do. Freely. The kiss sealed more than a marriage, it sealed a reclamation. Later, as we toasted under starlight, Jasper leaned close. You built an empire, now you're building peace. I looked around, no judgment, no shadows, only light. This wasn't the wedding I was invited to, it was the one I chose, and that made all the difference.